I think she has the basic shape and structure correct. What it's lacking is variety and value. That means instead of having 10 values from the value scale, she's only submitted or incorporated about 2 or 3, and it's a simplified approach. So it's just looking flat, and that's what's bothering her. We want a really natural mouth. She's not wearing heavy lipstick, no lip liner or anything like that. She has a beautiful mouth shape with lots of variety, and that's what I want to show her with this little study, is the difference it's going to make when she incorporates all that. It's really going to show off the good structure she's already established. So far, I've just established what she already had. I do want to incorporate some of the features surrounding the mouth, a little more of the environment, because it helps explain or give more information to why the mouth is shaded in that way. So if you incorporate some of the shadows on this right side of the mouth, or our right, and like this little hook shadow that goes right in between the mouth, and I'm seeing like almost like a V right there. So I'm picking out letters, which would be just shapes I recognize, so that I can tell my brain what's true and say, okay, it's a V shape, or there's more dark on this side than that side. I try to speak to myself in my inner monologue while I'm drawing in really clear terms. I don't want to say things that are going to hurt my process, like, oh, it doesn't look like a mouth yet. I'm going to say that is like a little U right under the lip, and I'm going to brush it in with my blending stick that already has some graphite on it, and it looks like there's like a little J, so that kind of makes a letter J. So anytime I can pick out letters, shapes I recognize, that helps me have a landmark. It's the equivalent of saying, okay, well, turn left when you get to Walmart or McDonald's or whatever, landmark you use to tell people to get around. I can say, all right, there's like a little J right here, and above or below the J, there is this shape that looks like a cursive T, and then there's a triangle that goes up. So if you pick out those shapes, you're more likely to know where you are, just like using landmarks. So I will map those out and put them on the face because they're important. And we need to record that. If you don't give your viewer all the information, it's just not going to look like you, or it's not going to look like the portrait you're drawing. And try to get a light dusting over the face. Oops, I don't want to streak it. I better use tissue. If it's bigger than a quarter, you really should use tissue. I get sucked into that a lot, so I forget to. All right, I'm going to darken next to the jawline. A sharp edge will help divide that space, because after her jaw, behind it on her neck is a super deep, dark value. I'm also going to use that graphite that I have in excess in that area, almost like a reservoir. Like I'm going to dip into it and shade with it. I will use like dark hair or something like that to kind of pull into the face. Anytime you're drawing these little areas of value, I use my blending stick a lot. There's some little highlights there. I want to make this index card disappear. That's my goal. I want to make it look like it fits. And if I can convince her that that's how it's supposed to be, then it'll work. So when she brought this to me, it was just outlined, but I'm trying to show her, hey, when you add a little more dark on that dark side, it's really going to shape the mouth. It's going to turn the face and make the face feel like a rounded object, which it is. And once she has this little layer of dust, like graphite on the lips, she can also use her eraser to lift up highlights easily. So anytime you shade with a tissue or blending stick, it's a really soft layer. It doesn't seem to adhere to the paper quite as well as when you're using straight graphite from the pencil. So it just lifts right up. I think she's ready to take this back to her desk. I think she understands what I'm trying to tell her. So I'm going to let her take this little swatch, the example that I've made. She can look at it as reference. She can see where the reference is still different than my swatch that I did. It's just a simple study. It's not perfect, but here at Day and Night, we're not looking for perfection. We're looking for improvement. And I hope watching these little studies helps you improve your drawing. If you found it helpful, please come back for more videos, subscribe, and give it a thumbs up. And I hope to see you back for the next video. Have a blessed day and night. I think so. It's a little droopy right here. I'd kind of like pull it up a little into a V, but it's hard to notice it until you see something to contrast it. All right. All right, there you go. Oh, we got all your pictures.